Well, you didn't know it was going to end the way that it did. You didn't think that that person was going to be the problem that they become. You didn't realize that their children was going to make life miserable for you. You didn't know. And you were engaged. You began to build a relationship, and that relationship went sour. But it didn't get to you for the first 5 years. You just went with the flow. You thought it was part of the programming, part of the way in which a relationship should be. You went along with it. You thought, these little hiccups are a part of this person and I can tolerate it, until you started to get to a stage where you realized that it wasn't that way at all. Now, just hang on a minute, viewers. Sit. You will not. You sit. No. Right. Whoops. Once you start getting sick and you're not realizing why, and then all of a sudden you start to talk about things, and it's turning out that the lifestyle that the person that you're with is affecting you and starting to take a toll on your mental health and all the rest of it, it becomes very, very deeply concerning. And for many of you, most of your life has gone into this person only to realize that it's going to be a catastrophic end. Many of these people die like little children, and they get heralded as, stop it, they get heralded as these great, stop it, oh, he's a nasty dog, this dog. Psst. They get heralded as these great people, and they were nothing but grubs. They enabled dysfunction. They brought home the money. I had one woman say, he used to give me so and so an amount every week, and that catered to her habits. He was grub, alcoholic, a cuck, someone that likes men to watch other men have sex with their wife. You can make all the excuses you want for that. A cuck is a cuck. And nobody comes out on the right side of that. It's all part of the sinful nature and how it loves deceitfulness and sin. Here. And people live this way, and so they drug themselves, and they share in transactionally, and one might be an alcoholic, one might be a drug addict. There could be heroin involved. As this train pulls out to go and service Sydney, Gosford to Sydney run. And so they have a transactional relationship where it works for both of them with their habits. Their children end up addicts and nuisances and problems. Here, come on. Nuisances and problems and They cause trouble later when these people are split up and somebody else comes along. They cause trouble for these people. I've seen it. And it takes a very strong woman to try and break the enmeshment that she's created with her children for her relationship. And 9 times out of 10 that ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And so you end up with a broken relationship, more brokenness on that person that's been abused. More sadness. If you get tangled up in it, you'll be abused by the children as far as they can do that. You'll be supposed to be a puppet that will puppet along, because these women have had men that are puppets. The woman just does what she wants and gets what she wants and behaves how she likes, runs after her children, rescuing them from all their trouble that they continually make. Most young men in prison are from single mothers. And so there's no check. They've never had any check on them. I've met these women. And when you check them, you'll start a relationship with them, and now it's time to check them on their behavior. They don't like it because they don't understand it. They'll go along with it at first, and then they'll fall back into their bad behavior, and you'll say, no, hang on a second, no, that's not happening. And they start to look at you like you're strange. Because they've had men in their lives that were unable to keep them in check. They weren't able to. They were drunks and addicts and things like this themselves. They only stayed around for the money or for some other reason. A lot of people's devotion and faithfulness blinds them from the life they're supposed to be living now. People are staying together, and all it really, the ultimately is, it's bringing pain and suffering and hurt and harm. There's no fruit coming out of it, I can assure you. My second wife's sons apparently are going to get married. Well, I know that boy is still on his mother's boob. So the poor girl he's going to marry, I don't know how all that's going to work. She'll be competing with the mother for the rest of her life. That boy ruined my marriage to that woman because he wanted his mummy so badly. I mean, I'm talking about people that feign fits and stuff while they're taking drugs and drinking alcohol in excess. They're just people of ruin. Now imagine meeting someone like that covertly is mummy's boy, and you think you're marrying a man. You're just marrying a fool. And many of you can testify to this. The man that you allowed yourself to fall in love with was nothing more than a mummy's boy fool. And you only have yourself to blame. No good blaming everybody else. And this has happened to many of you men. You've just married women that were spoiled little girls. They were never put in check, and if they were, they rebelled against it. And they were just led along by their sinful nature. They never knew they had a sinful nature. That just can't be possible. Well, it is possible. And now you have had to change the whole course of your life because you've ended up with an evil, spoiled, rotten, hard to get along with, destructive person. Now you've got to find your way out of it, and you can. You can start today. You can say, oh, I'm not tolerating this anymore. You've given all the warnings, you've tried to understand, and you realize that the only thing you can do is leave.